Hey, thanks for watching this video, guys. We're just getting morning feeding done. We got about 100 bales of grass hay to move. It's gonna be a hot day. The last 2 days have been over 100 degrees. We've also been getting blasted with wind. It's like a blast furnace out here. Crops are starting to look a little hurt. We've been running this demo, this Coon Knight from Engel Agri Sales for the last couple days. One thing that I really like about it is we got the scale in here, so I don't have to keep hopping out and moving the scale and turning the head. And sometimes you climb up in that tractor and the scale's not even looking at you, so you got to get back down. And those things aren't too big of a deal, but doing it every day, it gets annoying. Liking it so far. Definitely tell it's a lot heavier. And we got to put a bigger pin in the back. There's a little slot back there, so when we take off and hit the brake, this giant piece of iron ramming us and moving us around, we just gotta, I think Dad grabbed that one. We'll try to stick that in later. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. We really appreciate you clicking on it, and we're gonna get some farming done today. Yeah.
If you stop at the shop after, we can adjust that unloader.
Okay. One other adjustment we want to make, this chain keeps this unloader at the height that you want it at, and it's just a little lower than we want, so we're going to adjust this chain. So now it'll hold it up a little bit higher. It's just this is getting down into the bunks, and if we ever get off a little bit, this little lip here I think is going to hit.
If our grade was all the same all the way across, it'd be all right, but there's a couple dips, so. And then when we get in the mud, like feeding cows, it could get down in there too.
And once again, why are we demoing this machine? Well, Dad wanted to. Our other feed wagon's getting old. It's about 18 years old. And then this one, how the reel works, it's a lot less apt to plug, which we plug with our rations that include a lot of hay quite often, and that's a headache. Pull the old dippy and it was a tickle low. He's flying. We were hoping the cows would be deeper in the pasture. They're like 200 feet from the gate, so we're gonna have to keep shutting it and opening it. But Dad did bring some pellets in there, so he might lure them out into their main pasture and shut the gate on them. Oh, there you going. This is a hay field I had a lot of trouble in the last video or 2 videos ago. Dad and Jeff baled this up together last Friday. It's about 30 acres, made about 98 bales, which is more than we made the previous year, 20 bales less than we made 2 years ago, and probably half as much as we made 3 years ago. We got a nice helper today.
There's 6 by the gate, so grab one with your loader every time out, and then you won't have to run some.
Okay. Between the trailer and the front of the loader, we can do 15 at a time.
Shopper's hat. Get to the shoppers.
Thanks. I was wanting that. I could go for this all day, just pretty nice. We're gonna be throwing all these bales right here next to these corn stalk bales. This grass is pretty fancy, nice stuff, so we're gonna put it in the back. Whereas previous videos, we were putting alfalfa over there where we grind hay, because it wasn't as fancy, it's grinding hay. Now I'm getting worried. If he keeps doing that, he's going to be thinking I owe him one, and I think at the end of the day, he's going to be asking me to do something like sweep that 120 by 80 shed there. Don't they just look sweet? Put in a row. We do have a small 40% chance, 40 chances of 1% chance and the 40% chance of rain today. I don't buy it. I don't think it's gonna happen. But we would definitely be delighted with that. Little spurt of rain. Get this grass growing up. Chair's been acting real funky. It's got an airbag in it that kind of gives you a little suspension. You can pump it up. Well, you're supposed to be able to pump it up and release pressure. Right now it's all pumped up, but I'm sitting, my head's about hitting, and it's harder than a rock. So now I'm driving through a hayfield, 10 mile an hour, with a seat that's harder than something that's really hard. Oh my lantern. I'm getting close to yelling expletives. Oh, good, it's still pumped. The pump works, you hear that? It don't release. That was load 3. Dad's taking an early lunch and then he'll switch off. We'll bring load 4 home.
Ate lunch early and traded off with Cole. It's getting in the 90s now. It's noon, and The wind's blowing about 35 mile an hour and it's hot. It's starting to cloud up a little though. We've got a slight chance of evening thunderstorms. Hopefully that'll cool things off a little bit, maybe give us a little relief. This is the third day of 95 plus heat and 30-40 mile an hour winds. You know, if the crop was bigger, it'd really be suffering, but it isn't looking too bad at the stage that it's at this point. Kind of wanting to top dress our corn before it gets too tall, but there's no rain in sight to incorporate it and no rain in sight to make it worth doing. Waiting for that wonderful rain in the forecast, a good amount, and then we're gonna go like heck on that. Other than that, you know, things are going pretty well. We've got our first cutting alfalfa done in our first grass hay field that yielded about 3 1/3 bales an acre, weighing around 1,400 pounds a bale. My phone's ringing, so I'm out. I'm the lifeguard. I just blew the whistle. All swim, all swim. I wonder if they waited a half hour before they jumped in. Woo! If you're wondering how I pick a bale, I don't pick it, it picks me. I start driving toward it and there's one that just kind of grabs my attention and pulls me in. Yeah, I don't understand it either. It's nature, man, it's nature. Song of the day, John Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. That's what we do.
It really feels good having some grass hay back on the farm. You know, we do have quite a bit of alfalfa. There's probably 50 right there, another 50 right there. And that all of that stuff is like 3-year-old. At least 2, maybe even 3 years old. But as I've mentioned, we were down to about 5 or less bales of grass hay on the farm. And now we'll have about 100 of them. And we got quite a bit more to cut, rake and bale this year. Shield your eyes, kids. The four-wheeler's naked. I was spraying some pastures the other day and I had this little, oh, where'd it go? There it is. See that ranch? Means we gotta do an oil change. And if Dad were here, this would be the point where he says, "Don't tighten that too much, I did that once." Two for two. After this, I just gotta figure out how to get the wrench off there, which that's probably the hardest part. Touchdown. I would have gone pro if Coach would have just put me in. So while he's picking those up, I came down to the field, let those cows back in where they're supposed to be. Ended up being 7 left. Found some more pheasant eggs. I assume those will be hatching pretty soon here. They think it's cold out, only 2 of them are using the shade.
I don't get it. I guess they like the breeze helps a lot, don't it?
That one's got the tongue sticking out.
Oh, there's a shade over there, Donnie.
Traffic is bad. Oh, he's getting out to fight you now.
Oh God, that'd be awful.
We got the 100 degrees. So we're gonna run to town. We got a couple belts we need to get for that windrower before we start cutting some more grass tomorrow. and then run to the tractor supply and see if we can get some supply. So here it is. No, I'm just kidding, we didn't buy that. We didn't get the white vehicle memo.
What, Cole? Them white vehicles must breed like rabbits.
At the tractor supply, and they got the good stuff. The shell rotella. Before we do the big dirt hauling duties, we gotta change oil at some point on our dump truck. And we also need to change oil on our 7520 loader tractor sooner rather than later. I'm a caveman. I have tools. Hi, Ellie. That was way wetter than I thought it was. I was thinking I was gonna come in here, about 2 minutes, have it all out, but my tires just started spinning. It's got a snag to it. There was way more in there than I thought there was. Got a big old pile. That's about a whole spreader load right there. There's some weather over there. I heard there's a tornado about 2.5 hours west of here. It's gonna be an interesting night. Last thing I want to do today, drain this a couple days ago before the real hot. And now I'm gonna get this sludge, or as my dad would call it, gruel, out. It's got some stank to it, and these last couple hours been kind of stanky. Woo. Pretty dang good. I don't know if I want to drink out of it, but got about 100 grass hay bales home today. Did a couple other random things. Ran to town, and radar's still looking like the rain is gonna go around us, but with this heat and humidity, you never know what's gonna happen. So we'll see you next time, maybe, unless we get blown into the next county tonight. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Oh, there's our 8RX 410 coming down the road. Did I get you? Nah, we didn't buy a new tractor. Well, slap me silly, it's raining.